In Monster Rancher Advance, you play as a seasoned rancher on the Isle of Age, which is located in the world that has been home to the series since its inception. You are challenged to revitalize a dilapidated ranch belonging to your two new assistants, the brother and sister team of Zest and Aroma. To restore the Isle's ranch to glory, you'll need to raise a powerful monster and compete in a series of competitions, bringing in both cash and acclaim. Competing in official Ajima tournaments will allow you to win increasingly larger monetary awards, which are necessary to purchase the food and items needed to properly raise monsters. To break up the routine of constant training and battling, frequent events will occur, including stray monster attacks, cheesy love affairs, and a generous helping of sibling bickering. Despite the somewhat entertaining story elements of the game, the focus is definitely on the training and battling of a multitude of unique monsters. While other games in the series used CD or DVD to unlock hidden monsters, Monster Rancher Advance derives its creature information from words and random combinations of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. At first, you can start with 4-digit alphanumeric combinations, like Guns, which reveals a subbreed of Makai, and Thug, which unveils a rose-hued golem named Peachy, but as you progress through the game, larger combinations become available to you. The word monster produces in feline Nymo, while ninja generates a special creature, a black-clad chaser subbreed with incredible statistics. Tecmo has seen fit to include many special monsters that are unveiled using both obscure and predictable keywords that may be found through trial and error or discovered on mysterious tablets within the game. This system of monster generation bestows upon players a veritably limitless potential for experimentation and removes the barriers that kept players without a sizable multimedia collection from tapping into all the hidden treasures of the previous games. Raising monsters is simple enough in theory, but a lot of strategy is involved in raising a champion-class combatant. Every month, your monster is fed one of a variety of foods, which are rated for nutrition and taste, both relative to the current season and your monster's personal tastes. Keeping your monster's diet nutritious will allow it to perform well during training, while giving your monster food it enjoys will make it happier and more loyal, although spoiling your monster is also a consideration. Each monster is also rated in a series of categories, including power, accuracy, intelligence, speed, and life. These traits can be improved in a number of ways. Ajima runs a training hall where a teacher will fight a mock battle with your monster, giving it a chance to earn both a sizable stat increase and knowledge of a new attack. Your monsters will gain experience after doing well in competition. Most often, however, your stats will be increased by training with available coaches who themselves are specialized in one or two of the traits. Easier exercises will raise a single stat moderately, while tougher challenges will raise one stat greatly, raise another moderately, and reduce a third. To make matters more intriguing, the initial coaches provided by Ajima are only ranked 400 out of 999 in their specialized trait, so your monsters won't receive the best training possible from them. Many players will find that in order to fully maximize their monster-raising capabilities, they'll need to raise monsters with the intent of turning them into coaches to replace the ones provided by Ajima. Not all players will go this route, instead choosing to dive right into competitive play, but that's part of the beauty of Monster Rancher Advance. You get out of it as much as you put into it. There are plenty of rewards for diligent players who dedicate hours to developing their stable of monsters, while more casual gamers will be thoroughly enamored with the challenging, combative elements. Combat in the world of Monster Rancher is regularly held in gladiatorial arenas, and it hasn't changed much since the original PlayStation game. Monsters have access to power and intelligence-based attacks, and they execute them through the expenditure of constantly replenishing points, called guts. When two monsters square off, their guts begin at 50 and slowly rise toward the cap of 99. The more guts your monster has, the higher its chance of executing a successful attack or dodging its opponent's attacks. There are a number of different strategies that can be employed. You can save your guts for a single powerful attack or jab constantly at your opponent with weaker, more accurate blows. Each individual attack is ranked from E, worst, to S, best, for accuracy, damage, critical, and guts reduction. Further adding to the mix is the constant control over monster distance, which must be taken into consideration. Monsters can allocate different attacks to the near, mid, and far ranges, and staying at the proper distance is both an offensive and defensive struggle that plays out much like a game of tug-of-war. These battles are quite entertaining, and they often come down to a judge's decision by the slimmest of margins, as victories are based on the amount of damage dealt as a percentage of monster health. Best of all, monsters frozen at the studio in town can be used to compete with the greatest challenge of all, human opponents. Once all the accolades have been earned and all the championships have been won, you can still continue raising monsters for the sole purpose of taking on other players. Previous games in the Monster Rancher series may have been grander in size or graphical splendor, but Monster Rancher Advance may be the greatest entry yet for a number of reasons. Gone are the despicable load times and the tedium of popping open a CD tray or console lid, swapping CD, and waiting for monster information to load, only to swap again. The process of monster generation is now absolutely painless and far more interactive than simply making use of your CD collection. When you think of a particularly clever word and are rewarded with a new monster type, or the all-important special monster, the feeling is quite rewarding. That Monster Rancher Advance is the first portable entry in the series, and thus most likely to inspire bouts of intense human competition, is the icing on the cake. Monster Rancher provides a thoroughly addicting experience unique to the Game Boy Advance that can be enjoyed by die-hard fans of the series and newcomers alike.